to you he wouldn't change a thing,
Yeah.
which is an incredible thing to say. Why do you think he said that?
I asked, yeah, exactly. I asked Rob the question, if playing rugby has had contributed to you getting M&D, if, lifestyle, whatever. And he said, no, absolutely not, Lindsay. He said, I've got 3 beautiful children. I married the girl, my teenage sweetheart. I've travelled the world with rugby.
Yeah.
I've got the best group of friends through playing for the Rhinos. And, we only have to look at, what they've done for Rob and the camaraderie and the bond. And he just said, I wouldn't change anything. And I think he achieved so much in his, he was 42 when he passed, which is very young. But I think what he achieved, people can only dream of achieving those things. And that for him, he was in a good place. And he just lived life to the full. He'd done everything that he wanted to do. He got 3 beautiful. That's the hard part, that is not here to see the children grow up. We know without any shadow of a doubt. But he had achieved so much in his rugby career, in his life. He'd travelled the world. He'd had so many great experiences, and he was just so thankful for the opportunities that he'd had. And he'd supported Leeds growing up. His dad had taken him to see his first Leeds game, and it was actually interesting. The first game after Rob had passed was Hull, that Leeds played, Hull away, and that was Rob's first ever game that he played was against Hull away. And then the second game, which was the Leigh game, Leigh was the first team that his dad had taken him to see, because Rob couldn't decide if it was Leigh or Leeds that he was cheering for at that point. So yeah, just I think certain things that happen that you just think, I think he still is with us in spirit.